Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, 15.
And did you notice at the end of this, they said next week on the season finale?
I did
Yeah.
notice that.
Yeah. So
And what
good.
was the name of this episode?
Smile, you're being recorded.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yes. We are on day 3 in Puerto Vallarta. Puerto Vallarta. I don't like that word.
It doesn't just roll off the tongue.
It really,
No.
I can't do those words, those Spanish words. I'm not good at them. So the next morning we see Lisa, she's talking and she admits that she didn't sleep well the night before because they had that big fight at her Vita only party and she wound up storming out and there was a lot on her mind. But she also let us know that after the argument, Bronwyn came to her room and let her know that when she got off the boat, that she didn't feel good about the way things were with her. And she started talking to Angie and Whitney and Heather. And they were discussing Lisa and Meredith about how they reacted to Todd cheating or, whatever, emotional relationship. And she wanted Lisa to know that she was a part of the conversation, but she didn't really tell her what the conversation was.
No, she
made sure she told Lisa what everybody else said about her.
Well,
I thought this was very messy of Bronwyn.
It was messy, but what Bronwyn said,
was.
She said, at least on camera, what production showed, is she said, some not nice things were said about you, and I wasn't happy about the things I said. So, on camera, on production, what anybody knows happened was that's all you know that was said. Like, who knows what was really said? That's what production chose to show.
Right.
That part of the conversation. But if you go by just that part of the conversation, then all she's saying is not nice things were said, and I'm sorry for the things that I said. So
but she doesn't say what she said or what was said.
Right. And she doesn't, like I said, per production, what we saw, she doesn't say, Whitney said this and blah, blah, blah said that. She just says not nice things were said.
Right. And then she's like, well, this is kind of like, I'm bummed about this because I have this really fun day planned, ATVing in Mexico. Because she Googled like what to do fun in Mexico and she came up with ATVing.
I wrote down to myself, okay, Lisa, you're such a party planner.
Right.
But you just went by what Google's search you came up with for luxury experiences in Mexico and it said ATVing. And you just, you need to work on those party planning skills, girlfriend.
Yeah, I would say so. And then we see Mary is kind of reflecting on how she normally checks in with Robert when she's on a trip. And that she's grateful that he's in rehab and getting the help that he needs. Then Meredith goes into Heather's room the next morning to see what's going on with Brittany. That whole thing was messy too. She thinks that Brittany is insinuating that she has an eating disorder. I don't know where that came from. I never thought Brittany was insinuating she had an eating disorder just because she said she was throwing up.
I totally agree with you. And this is what I think is hysterical. Meredith's like, I don't like when people are talking about me behind my back. That is all you do, Meredith. All you do is talk about people behind their back.
And listen, I'm not a Brittany fan at all.
No, me neither, especially after this episode.
But on the after show, she did say, she goes, I was just wondering if she had Montezuma's revenge. Did she get food poisoning?
Yeah, they were in Mexico.
You know what I mean? She was like, so I don't know how you go from, I'm wondering if she has food poisoning to I'm saying she has an eating disorder. She was like, that was kind of a stretch for me.
I didn't get
when
the
you put it
disorder
when you put it like that, I was like, it was shady. Brittany was trying to have a moment.
For sure.
When she puts it like
Brittany's
that.
always trying to have a moment.
Yeah, it put it in a little bit more of a perspective. And the thing with Mary, I thought really was very touching and for me, very relatable because when something like that happens, you're in such a weird place that you can almost feel guilty for having that feeling of relief that your child is in the hands of professionals and it's not that you don't have to worry about it anymore, but it's just that there's finally somebody else involved that knows what they're doing.
You get a little break.
You just being a mom. But it's just a weird thing. So I was really happy for Mary that she decided to go, and that
they're in a safe place.
Yeah, and you could just, I understood her feeling of that, just like
exhale.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that she acknowledged it, and I like that they showed it.
Yes.
Because it's an important part of her story, and like we need to see it. I like that they showed it. So then we see they're on the way to the ATV, and then Lisa's like, I have a question. Bronwyn came to me after dinner and said you were all talking about me. What did you say? And then Angie said to Bronwyn, well, what did you say? Bronwyn said, well, I didn't feel supported when I opened up on the boat about Todd. And Lisa says that Bronwyn said that you all started talking about me. And Bronwyn said, no, that's not what I said. I said that I didn't feel supported by you and Meredith, and then they interjected, and I was a part of that. Now, again, she didn't specifically say yet. She still hasn't said what was said, not on camera.
Right. And really all Angie said was maybe Lisa didn't take it as serious as it is. I don't know. That's all
And
she
Bronwyn said, so are you saying you think she thinks I'm lying?
And
Bronwyn said that.
Right.
But Angie didn't say that.
But Angie didn't even acknowledge that. She didn't say yes or a no.
Right.
If anything, Whitney and Heather were the ones who said something you could construe as bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So then after that happens, they all literally start screaming at each other. Like you can't even really understand what anyone's saying. The only thing I could make out was that Whitney says to Lisa to shut the fuck up and let me tell you what happened. And then Lisa's like,
over again.
Right. You're not the only one who gets to talk. You're a fucking bitch. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then like they're just yelling back and forth, and
Madness.
It was insane. And then all of a sudden Angie's like, wait, Brittany, why are you recording the conversation? And then it all turned to that insanity. Like that was just as crazy as the other insanity.
She's nuts, that Brittany.
And she's like,
I don't like her. I don't want her coming back.
I'm not. I'm sending a video to Olivia. But then the producers cut to a scene where she's holding the phone 2 minutes earlier and literally just recording the audio. It was just an audio recording. And all the ladies start yelling, like, show us the video. And then Brittany plays the video, which is just a recording. It's not a video. And meanwhile, Meredith is in the back, like freaking out.
Losing her ever-loving mind.
Yeah. I mean,
whacked. She's whacked.
She is unhinged,
like,
Meredith.
I was like, girl, you're going to have a stroke. Like, what are you doing?
It's always over the top. Always, always, always over the top.
How about Lisa in her confessional where she says about Whitney, could somebody give her a gag? I'm sure she's used to using them with Justin. I was like, Lisa, that was a good one.
I know, but it was funny.
Yeah, but I mean, Meredith is yelling at her that you need to leave. You're vile. You're recording us.
I love how Meredith thinks she's the authority on who gets to stay and who gets to leave.
I don't know.
I'm surprised she didn't call for security.
On
move.
the Sprinter van?
Yeah, that's her move. Security.
I'm just the driver.
Exactly.
I got to tell you, that van driver had a lot of cerveza that night. And he was sitting around talking to his friends, being like, my God, these American
women
were
are
like,
fucking crazy.
They're loco. I just pictured it. He must have been traumatized.
Yeah, I know. I can't even imagine. And then Brittany's like, oh my God, this was an accident. And then they're all like, it wasn't an accident. There was 3 videos. And then they're like, you need to take accountability. And that is her problem. She does not take any accountability. And Heather's like, what if she recorded us other times? Like, did she record us last night? And then she puts that out there. And then Meredith yells, my God, I had her in my house. I'm like, okay. Like, what? When?
Like, now they think she's planting listening devices in everybody's homes. And then it did spiral.
It did. And then Heather's like, well, there's wiretapping laws. You can't do that. You can't secretly record others. And then Brittany's like, it was an accident. So then Angie says, just say you're sorry and we'll be done. I'm like, oh, okay, now Angie's like the one who's gonna end it. So she's
Yeah.
like, okay, like, I'm sorry. Just, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was not going to be done though from one apology.
No, it
No.
was not. It
No,
really wasn't.
She done fucked up.
She done fucked up.
She
Yeah.
That was a big one. The trust is gone. You're out of the circle of trust, Brittany.
Right.
I don't know if you were ever really in it,
No.
but now you're
No.
definitely out.
No, you definitely are.
But then Heather's like, but I've been trying to defend you. I've been fighting for you. You know, Lisa says to Brittany, you know, I'll never trust you again. Meredith says, you know, you keep making up lies. I was like, oh, and she calls her vile again. Like, that's her word, is vile.
For sure.
And you know what? Listen, Meredith didn't give a shit about anybody else being recorded. She could care
No.
less. Everything goes back to Meredith.
Absolutely.
It's so all about her. She just can't.
And listen, Brittany can apologize and Meredith will say it's okay and we're moving on. Meredith will never move on.
Never. No.
She
No,
holds a grudge like no other.
Yes.
no, that is true. I mean, so then the Sprinter van stops and Brittany gets out and she's like crying hysterical. And then Angie's like, oh no, like, what have we done?
She was really like
she was hyperventilating. She was hyperventilating.
Well, listen, let's
it
not.
was a lot. It was
let's
a
not
lot.
forget, though. Let's not forget. She is an actress.
I knew you were going to say that.
Exactly. I
She is
totally
an
agree with you.
You
I
really
mean-
think she was acting?
Yes.
I think part
I
of
think
her
that was
I
way
think
over the top.
I think part of her was acting. I did
Yeah.
not see tears streaming down her face. I did not see her eyes all puffed up. I know what it looks like when somebody's bawling and has been bawling.
Totally agree.
Sorry.
Well,
I feel like
thought-
it was 50-50. I feel like she was really upset. It was a lot. But I
She was
think
upset she got caught.
I think she took it to the next level drama-wise.
well, that's what Mary said. Because even when Angie said, like, oh no, and Mary's like, who cares? We've all been through it.
Right.
It's like, Mary.
Love Mary. Love Mary.
And then Whitney gets out and she goes over to comfort her. And, you know,
Whitney still didn't let her off the hook, though.
No, she didn't let her off the hook. And
Yeah.
listen, I like that she was showing her some compassion because somebody had to. You can't
Somebody
just leave
had
this
to,
girl
yeah.
out there hyperventilating and you're all sitting on the van.
Right.
I don't know. Depends.
Talking smack about her.
Depend.
Right. That's true.
If you
would've
really,
went
if you really cross the line, and it's not a good day, I might leave your ass out there.
Yeah. And that did cross the line.
Yeah.
So
I can
then,
have a cold streak.
then it's funny. They get to the ATVs and all of a sudden they have to pair up and Heather and Brittany are left and they have to go
Heather was
together.
funny. He's like, really? That's how you're going to do me, guys? That was funny.
Well, she was your friend, Heather. There you go.
I love how Heather's like, I introduced her to the ladies. Like, no, she was cast. Production brought her on. And unfortunately for you, they just keep writing Heather's friend.
Right.
And how funny was that with like the deleted? Like
I couldn't even
I
follow
deleted
that.
it from my deleted.
Right.
Didn't even follow it.
No.
And did you see on the van when Bronwyn was like, okay, Steve Jobs, I don't need to know how to work. I know how to work the phone.
Exactly. That was funny. Yeah.
So then Heather says to Brittany that she's going to drive. I don't know if you noticed this. Like all the ladies have on the scarves on their face and the goggles. Mary can't find her goggles. And she says to Bronwyn, where are my goggles? She's like, they're around your neck.
It's something I would do totally.
Right. But Brittany has no goggles on and no mask.
And no mask.
And no
I saw
mask.
that.
I didn't
saw
even
that.
notice that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. Yeah.
She's just, I think they might have even, didn't they have helmets on too?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Brittany
so.
had no helmet either. Brittany had nothing on. Brittany
Yeah,
had nothing on.
that.
Really
I
trying
don't
to
know.
throw her overboard, aren't they?
I don't know what's up with that either. But then when they get to the bridge and Lisa's like, no, Lisa, you're the one who planned this extravaganza.
That's what I'm saying about our party planning skills. She had no idea what they were doing.
Right.
No idea.
Right.
And I'm sure if you looked at the website, if you knew what your whole excursion was supposed to be, you would know. And
Right.
I love how Angie K was like, I don't really like the wind in my face and my hair because it will like give you split ends. And just what she said that.
Nobody needs high body count hair anymore.
No.
Funny.
Yeah, no. So they go over the rope bridge, and Lisa's like, oh my God, it looks like something Henry put together with his Legos when he was 5. I'm like, I mean, it did look treacherous. I mean, is this, I was looking at it thinking, oh shit, like, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to go over that. And I'm pretty fearless, but I even said to Bill, because he happened to be in the room, I was like, what do you think? Do you think like this is safe? He goes, I would do it. I was like, I'd do that too. So they get to the other side of the bridge, and then they go up the stairs, and they wind up in this like Mountain Creek area. And the girls a couple of them are jumping off the rocks into the water. And Mary's like, I'm not going in that water. Like, you girls are going to have diarrhea later.
Yes, she said, good luck with your diarrhea and throwing up later on.
Yeah. She's right, though.
And then Brittany's jumping in, and then Lisa's sitting over there, and she's like, she thinks we're just all going to forget about that she was recording us. And Lisa's like, how quick she bounces back. But, she does look good in a bikini.
She does.
I was surprised Lisa gave her that.
Yeah.
She did, though.
She did. She did, but still.
Yeah.
I'm like, these women, they are so shallow. It's not even funny.
Absolutely.
Well, especially Lisa.
Yeah. She's the epitome of.
Yeah, she really is. She really is. So then they get to the restaurant after that, and they're greeted with margaritas and food. Then Mary asks Brittany why she's being so quiet, and she says, well, I'm just internalizing. And Mary asks, internalizing what, babe? And she's like, well, everything. And Mary said, well, the part that you got caught?
Yes.
And Heather's like, it's a violation. I supported you. And this is indefensible. And then she's like, but, I was just, and she starts giving her excuses. And the ladies are like, you keep changing your story.
Yes, she did.
And then they show
save it
us
for later.
Right.
Taking the thing for the daughters thing.
It was an accident. I didn't
It
know
was an
I
accident.
doing it.
And I didn't mean to do it. I was trying to do my camera instead of the video.
Yeah, that was a little odd. She did keep changing her story.
Did.
Then Meredith says, do you think that this is a joke? I'm not okay with it. And she's like, you're a liar. I mean, that's what Meredith resorts to, like name calling.
Yeah, because she's got nothing. She's not smart. She can't think on her feet. So she either she does name call and then she leaves.
Yes, that's what she does.
Leaves every time.
Yes, she name calls and she leaves. That's what she does. So then Brittany starts crying, and she's like, well, there's only one thing I can do now is there's only, one thing I didn't come clean about. And they're all like, what? And it's like her stupid announcements.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Where is
Everybody
all that
knew
was
you were
missing
having
was
sex
the
with
ding,
Jared.
ding, ding.
Like, Jared and I actually do have a physical relationship.
I loved Mary's face. She was just like, if Mary could have said something, Mary would have said, you know what? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It was just the face she made her. It
Like, I
was a
think
little
we were all
hand swing. It
thinking
was
that.
great.
I mean, listen, when she said that, we were all thinking that. But once again, Heather did jump to her defense. She said, listen, this is like, I get it. There's a lot of shame in doing this. Like, Brittany says it's very hard growing up active LDS. And Bronwyn, she gets it. Heather gets it. Whitney gets it. Brittany says, I understand completely. Whitney says this, I understand completely because I got shamed for leaving the Mormon church because I cheated with my husband, Justin. But what do you think people are going to think? Like, you're drinking alcohol and you're wearing red lingerie to dinner. And Brittany says, oh, crap, I'm screwed. Like, she really thought that she was like going to fool them. Like, she thought that she could go on this show and that they wouldn't put it together.
Right. She's not smart.
No, she's not. She's not smart. She thought just by making that statement that her and Jared were actually in a physical relationship, that was going to change her life. Not all the other stuff that she had done already.
Right.
Which Whitney had to point out to her.
But I mean, come on. She only brought that up to deflect from her recording bullshit.
To get off of the recording.
Absolutely. That's the only reason.
Well, again, Heather did stick up for her, and I think it kind of gave her a little bit more of a soft spot for her again, like, because she said to her, listen, these are the women that allowed me to break free, because she felt ostracized also. I mean, this is when she wrote her book, was after she left the church and she was with these women. That's when she wrote the book.
Yeah.
Bad Mormon. And so she does know the feeling. Listen, I thought that was a good part of it because I don't know.
Yeah, it was a good part of it. I know what you're talking about, Wendy. It was
I'm
a good
always
part.
rooting for like that underdog, even if it is Brittany. Like,
I
I
can't
feel
root
like
for her. I can't root for her. I can't do it. She's too needy. She just wants the spotlight too much.
Yeah.
She's doing too much.
She's doing too much. Yeah.
I think if she does happen to come back next season, I think that we'll see a different Brittany. I think that once she sees herself on camera and sees how she came across, I don't think she is. I think she's clueless because she really didn't think that this was going to out her. I don't know.
Delulu. That's all I got to
I
say.
mean, we're really not dealing with rocket scientists here.
No, we're not. And then Brittany does apologize to Meredith for insinuating that she had an eating disorder, even though she never insinuated that.
But
And
Meredith having it anyway.
no, she's like, well, you did insinuate that. I'm like, okay, you're going to stick with that.
Yeah, and like I said, Meredith says she accepts the apology and they're going to move on, but we all know
No.
she's
So
not.
when they're done eating, they go shopping in the little market there. And did you guys see what Heather bought
Yeah, the apron.
with the pop-up penis?
Yeah, I'm shy, but I have a big dick.
She was wrecked. She was wrecked in that market. And you know
She
who
was
else?
drunk?
She was wrecked.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
She would, yeah, watch it again. She was wrecked. I think Meredith got wrecked too at lunch. I think so.
I think Meredith is wrecked a lot of times.
Yeah.
So
like
then
always.
Yeah, she probably is. I didn't know about the Xanax, ladies. I'm so glad that you clued me in on that because I see a totally different view of Meredith now. It makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're alleging.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
know I know.
Alleged, but I allege that she
We allege it.
So the ladies all go back to the villas and they're getting ready to go to dinner. Mary's doing her hair and Angie offers to help her do her hair, which I thought was nice.
Yeah.
Mary's first, she's like, no, but, Angie, helps her. Then Heather goes over to Meredith's room and Meredith asks if she can hear anything from her room because they're, I guess, neighbors on the other side.
So they're Cagney and Lacey now.
Right. And then Meredith thinks that maybe Brittany left some sort of recording device in her room because if she heard her coughing in her conversation with her husband. So then they go over and try and reenact it to where they were to see if they can find any kind of recording device. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I think Heather was goofing on her.
Yeah.
Definitely. She
I
was
do too.
definitely, again, she was like, oh, Meredith wants me to be a part of this. Let me jump on this
Oh, yeah.
bandwagon.
For
right?
sure. Oh,
Well, she said on the after show that her father was in the FBI.
Heather's?
Heather's father. So she said it's genetic.
That's
She's a
interesting.
crime
That
solver.
is interesting.
She's a special secret agent. Yes. Yeah, that was funny.
That is funny.
Yeah.
So then the ladies all go to dinner, and Lisa says, tonight we are dining in peace and elegance.
For 30
Okay.
seconds.
And then Angie says, I want to finish the conversation we were having on the van before Brittany started recording. And Lisa said, well, at least we'll have elegance.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Not happening.
No. So Angie tells Bronwyn that she didn't think it was right that she ran to Lisa and threw them all under the bus, which is what she did do. I think that that's what she did.
I agree.
And Bronwyn says, Lisa and I were trying to clear up what was happening between us. And I said my own shit with her first. I didn't throw you into it. I said it about myself.
Right, but like
she
I
didn't
said,
have to bring them up at all.
she did say that there were not nice things said, and I feel bad about my part in it. Which
Right.
leads Lisa to believe that other nice things were not said that Bronwyn didn't say, so they must have been said by the other people who were there.
Right. Right.
Yes.
So sometimes what's left unsaid is just as bad as what's said.
Yes.
That is so funny. Then after she says, I didn't throw you into it. I said it about myself. Bronwyn says, whether I meant it to be nefarious or not during that discussion. Angie said, wait, what does nefarious mean? Whitney says, what does that mean? And Heather's like, evil and conniving. I'm like, they don't know what nefarious means? Are you kidding me?
I didn't know what nefarious meant.
Oh, you didn't?
I've heard the word used before.
Okay.
I did not know.
Now
Well,
everybody knows.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a Disney term, kind of like the nefarious villain. Like, it's,
Okay.
like, just to put it in Disney reference. That.
Right.
So Whitney says, it feels like you feel guilty about something that was said in that conversation. So you ran to Lisa before either of us got a chance, which is exactly what I think happened.
Absolutely.
You know what? She's just too busy ass kissing Lisa.
Yeah.
You know, she complained, Bronwyn complains how everybody else does it.
Yeah.
She's being the biggest brown noser of all.
I totally agree.
She's so worried about her relationship with Lisa. But I think it's that Bronwyn really wants to be a housewife, and she feels that the best way to secure her position on that show is to be aligned with Lisa.
Yes.
Why all these women give Lisa so much credit, I don't know.
It's the same thing with Teresa on Jersey.
It's
Everybody
because
who comes on wants to be
Lisa
on her
started
team.
it. Lisa started the show. That show wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Lisa. She started
same thing
the
as
show.
Teresa.
So that is, that's definitely a valid
It's the same
point.
thing with Tamara on OC.
Well, Tamara's been off before, though.
Right, but she's the only, I mean, there's no original on OC, so Tamara was the long-standing housewife. So Emily aligns herself with Tamara, which drives me crazy because she's too smart for that.
Yeah.
I love how Mary in her confessional was like, I don't know, like, what is Meredith talking about? Like, Meredith's too boring to like
Well, that was
her
great.
room.
That was hysterical. That was hysterical.
That was great.
So Bronwyn said that wasn't the case, that's not what happened. And Heather across this table mouths to Whitney that Bronwyn's being two-faced.
Two-faced.
Now, just say it. Why do you got to mouth it across the table? Why didn't you just say it?
It is a good question. Because it's not
Well,
like Heather to not say it.
Listen, but Heather's calling it's the pot calling the kettle black here. Because really, Heather said the worst thing in that whole conversation. Angie said maybe Lisa didn't take it so serious. Whitney said, well, supposedly they've both been in cheating situation before. Heather was the one that said they side with Todd because they have been on that side of it and they want to be forgiven. So she said the worst thing of all. And then as we see towards the end of the episode, totally runs away from it in regards to explaining what she said when it comes, because when Meredith wants to know
what was said.
Heather totally, so,
And if she did say the two-faced thing out loud, Bronwyn would have just said what she said. As of right now, as far as we know, Lisa doesn't even know what anybody else said.
Right.
So then Meredith says, I still have a question that doesn't add up to me. I never heard anything from the adjoining rooms next to me. And Mary's like, I haven't either. And Meredith says, I didn't vomit. I did cough. I had a coughing fit. I find it perplexing that you heard everything that I haven't heard anything from anyone else's room, but you heard everything from mine. And then they're all sitting there like, I didn't hear anything. Did you hear anything? And all of a sudden that becomes like the conversation. And Brittany says, I have no idea what you're getting at. And Meredith says, well, because today you tried to record us without our knowledge. Why would I not question if you put something in my room at some point? And then that's where Mary in her confessional says, Meredith is boring. Like, why are we going to, like...
Yeah, who would want to... She's delusional. Funny. She really is delusional. Like,
yeah, Meredith is out of her mind.
Nothing is this much about you. I hate to break it to you.
Right. So then Lisa says, well, I guess this is enough fun for tonight. And then Heather says, yeah, let's go. So they just drop it there. At that point, they just drop it. And they get back, they get back on the villa. They ride back to the villa. And Angie asks Heather on the ride while they're in that little, whatever it was, buggy thing, if we said anything bad to Bronwyn. Now, Meredith was on that also. And Heather said, well, I think we just said something about emotional infidelity and that Meredith could co-sign to that.
So then where did that come from?
Because she was just trying to backpedal. Because, like I said, she's not going to tell you. She's not going to tell you what she really said. She's certainly not going to tell Meredith that, oh, I said that you've been on the cheating side of things and you want to be forgiven for cheating.
Right.
She's not going to say. You know what I mean?
Right. So then they get back to the
backpedal. She just tried.
She was definitely backpedaling. Because then they get back to the villa and she's still backpedaling. She says, okay, wait, let's conduct an audio experiment. Because again, she doesn't want to finish that conversation.
Yeah, right.
And then Meredith is trying to finish the conversation and she starts yelling at Heather about infidelity and her husband. And Meredith says, that's it. Like she's like, storms off. And then Lisa goes after her. She's like, I've had enough of lies from everyone, and I'm going to bed. And she's talking to Heather when she said that. And Lisa and Meredith are in the room together, and they're both yelling, and they're all in the hallway. And they're like, well, I guess this is why she heard it, because it's
You could hear everything.
you could literally hear
You
everything.
heard everything.
So, maybe it was a situation where Brittany got up in the middle of the night to go get something to drink in the kitchen and heard
Right.
it through maybe it wasn't through the wall. Maybe it was like she was walking by and heard it.
Right by the door.
Because obviously if you're loud, people can obviously hear it through the door.
Right. Exactly. So then Meredith is saying that she was open and honest, and she talked about her marital struggles.
No, she didn't.
And what do they use it to weaponize me? And she's like, I'm sure you can hear me now. And
Talk
like,
about over dramatic and acting. Like, nothing's real about Meredith. I feel like I say this every week when we recap this show. There is nothing real about Meredith Marks. Not a damn thing.
Nope. I wanted to tell you that on the after show, Whitney said that she caught Brittany earlier recording them at the airport. And then she said she was, sending it off to friends. And then Bronwyn caught her after the Sprinter van when they were on the golf carts. And Brittany tried to say she was recording herself and her outfit. And then I think Bronwyn said something like she sent it and she saw that Brittany wasn't even in it. It was just Bronwyn.
Now,
So
can't she get fired for that? Like, isn't it in their contract?
There were other times that she was doing it besides just the one time. It wasn't like a one-shot thing.
Right.
listen, I mean, Andy said it on Watch What Happens Live that night. Like Watch What Happens Live was Whitney and Dorinda after this Salt Lake show. And it's been all over social media. If you think about it, they're complaining about someone filming you when you were on a reality show and there's cameras everywhere.
But you're leaking it
That's
before
the problem.
it's
Is leaking
aired.
it before it's aired.
But
It's
are
just
you
like
leaking
what
it,
Jennifer
though?
and Teresa did.
But are you leaking it, though? Because it never came out. None of the stuff ever came out.
Yeah, but just because she didn't
Potential's
do it,
there.
right? Just because she didn't do it doesn't mean that. I mean, she certainly could have if she
Yeah.
didn't get caught.
I mean, I guess she could have, but I don't think she's that bright, to be quite honest with you. I don't think, maybe we'll
To
find
me,
out on the
Same thing
reunion.
that Jennifer and Teresa were doing with those people.
With the bloggers, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's along the same
Absolutely.
lines.
She was sending it to somebody. She was probably sending it to Jared, but
But it doesn't
she was
matter who you were
sending
sending
that
it
to somebody.
right? So
And
it's
it
not,
wasn't her daughter.
right, and it's not the point of whether you're already being recorded. It's that we all know too that not everything that gets recorded
Gets
goes on the
aired.
show.
Right.
So there's that aspect of it also.
Absolutely.
Bronwyn was really funny on the after show. She pointed out, she said how odd it is that Brittany tried to clear herself of being called a liar. Because when they were at that lunch and Meredith says, you're a liar. And then right after that, Brittany decides to do her big reveal about her relationship with Jared. So she's trying to clear herself of being a liar by saying she lied about Jared.
That is funny. That is funny.
What is that? What is that?
Yeah.
I know. Like I said,
And-
she's not the brightest. She really
Yeah.
is not.
No.
Yeah. So she was basically trying to say, like, she's under all this stress of, like, leading a double life, Brittany. Like, that's basically what she was trying to say with her whole Jared thing. She was trying to, like, use that as her. So she was trying to deflect, and then she was trying to use that as, like, her excuse.
Well, I don't think it worked.
No. And Brittany tries to say that she didn't watch the show before she went on
Bullshit.
it. She was too busy.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I don't.
She was watching it. Jared was watching it. They were doing
Yes.
everything they could to get on the show.
I mean, they live in Salt Lake. What the hell else is there to do?
Right. Exactly.
And on the after show, Meredith admitted that she kind of.
I'm not insulting people that live in Salt Lake, by the way.
No, but when you live in a city where they're
Right.
you
There's
know
a
what's
housewife.
going on.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
You
Exactly.
drink soda and
Right. That's what you do.
yeah. So Meredith admitted that she kind of lost her shit on Brittany on the after show. She was like,
Really?
she kind of, yeah. She actually kind of admitted that she kind of
That's interesting.
lost her shit a little bit.
That is interesting.
And another thing Brittany was saying when she was talking about Meredith and the eating disorder, and Brittany said, well, she said that she was bulimic as a teen. And she said, I would never insinuate that. I never said that. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why she would even think that that's what I was saying. So I thought that was interesting that
That is interesting.
she was a bulimic.
Wait, Brittany was
was-
saying it about herself?
Brittany, yeah.
Okay.
Brittany was bulimic herself.
Yes. So she said, like,
Would never. I didn't
no,
think she did that at all.
Meredith,
personally.
that's Meredith thinking that she's important enough for somebody to talk shit about and make something up about. You're not.
right.
No.
And you're making it into something that it's not. Like
That
you're
it's not.
saying
No.
that she's trying to, slander you and damage your reputation or whatever.
No, you're just.
No, she just said she heard you crying and throwing up.
Right.
I am curious to see what happens next week, though, on the season finale, because it looks like that Angie and Mary have a falling out.
Yeah, but I think that I read something that they, whatever it was, they're back now being friends.
Good. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that because I would hate that. They just.
I would-
like them together.
Yeah.
I would
yeah,
too
yeah.
hate that. I would
They're
hate
like
that
a
as well.
Lucy and Ethel.
Yeah.
They are.
And did you see the reunion looks?
I did.
I didn't.
You did?
Yeah. We'll wait and talk about those on the reunion. You want to? Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta look at them.
Yeah. But we
So
had,
on Watch
go ahead, Kelly. Whatever your name is.
I was gonna say,
Wendy.
on Watch What Happens Live, so it was Whitney and Dorinda. And the first thing I wrote down is Whitney had short red hair. And I was like, I really love her short red hair.
I'll have to look for that.
And he introduced Dorinda because Traders was coming out. And Traders is out and it's getting a lot of buzz. I might watch it. It's getting that much buzz.
Teresa's not on it, right?
No.
All right, maybe I'll watch it.
Dolores is on it, though. And there's a
Right.
lot of Bravo people on it. There's a lot of Bravo.
Maybe I can watch
So Andy sends out his thoughts and prayers to the people of California. And Dorinda says after he does that, my press tour was canceled. Talk about tone deaf.
it. That's a sign.
I'm like, what, Dorinda? So then one of the poll questions, I thought this was interesting. One of the poll questions was, do you prefer Whitney as a blonde or a redhead? And they answered the poll question and it came back that they preferred her as a blonde. But then Andy said to Whitney, what was the reason that you dyed your hair red? And she said it was to support her redheaded teenager because her daughter is a redhead and they get made fun of every day. And she thinks redheads are beautiful.
Oh,
Her daughter has beautiful hair.
I know, but you know what?
Beautiful hair.
I can
know,
relate
I
to
know,
that.
Relate. You had
I
the
can
same
relate
thing.
to that. Like, I had the same problem as a teenager. Like, nobody wants to be different. Like, when you're a
Right,
teenager,
right.
you don't want to be different.
no, you don't.
And I loved her hair as soon as I saw it. And then when I heard the story, I was like, oh my God, I love it even more.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. And then I got some other tea about after the reunion, everyone went out together except Mary and Bronwyn.
Yes, I saw that.
Dorinda also called herself the Joan Rivers of Housewives.
Oh
No,
my God,
no, Dorinda. No, you are not.
you are not, Dorinda.
Joan Rivers is in her own class. You are
Yeah.
not. No.
Nope.
And Andy asked Whitney about the rumors of her and Justin splitting. She said it happens every season, depending on which housewife she's not getting along with. So I'm sure it's Lisa.
It's Lisa.
It's always Lisa. And they're not true. Her and Justin are fine. I'm
They
like,
seem,
they do seem fine. And I
these
really
two
like
seem
them
like they're in it
together.
for the long haul.
And Dorinda said, oh, good, because, and she was like hitting on Justin, like, he's fine. Like, oh, I'm glad you guys are good because I was like, oh,
That's pretty
Dorinda.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say fine, but
Yeah. He's all right. Yeah. So that was the Watch What Happens Live stuff.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
we did a Salt Lake thingy today. We did a
Well,
Salt Lake move today.
Nice
did.
segue, Lore.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
We went to the Himalayan Salt Cave. Yeah.
We did with our friends Heather and Tara, and
We
it was
did,
a lot
and
of.
it was
It was very
nice.
nice.
It
I
was
fell
very
asleep like
nice.
3 times and started
Yes,
snoring.
she did. Yes, she
We
did.
were only in there for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was nice. I look forward to going again.
Yes.
I'll definitely do that again. That was very relaxing, and I do feel like I feel good. I'm breathing clear. We were hoping that it would help Wendy's sinuses, but it did not.
It did not, but that's okay. I'm still
Yeah.
going to do it again.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did our little Salt Lake foray into the Himalayan salt cave.
Yeah. And we'll put some pictures up. Yeah. We'll put some pictures of our little adventure today.
Yeah, it was fun
And
to get out and
yeah.
do that.
Yeah. It is fun to get out and get out of the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of the base.
I mean, the Bills were on. I did not realize, but they won, so it's all good. And I was home by 2:30 and saw
Got to
the
watch
majority of the game.
the last of it. Good, good. All right.
So until next time, thank you for watching and listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.